These little zooms, these little images were actually an inspiration for a project I ran during the pandemic called Beautiful News. You know, the news is important and necessary, but it does tend to emphasize the negative, the conflictual, the violent, the horrible, you know, at the expense of us being able to see the positive things that are happening around the world. But extreme poverty in the world is decreasing. Over 100 cities in the world are already powered by renewable power.
I would like to quote the UN Agenda 30 pledges that no one should be left behind. We have different starting points in different parts of the world.
But fundamentally, you can convert shipping in the same way as you can convert land transport 100% green. Container shipping companies, there are 10 in the world. That's it. 10 companies that just need to drive a change.
So we went out and surveyed the CEOs of the hard-to-abate, so the carbon-intensive industries, to ask them what they perceive the biggest risks to be. What really surprised me, 76% of the respondents said their biggest risk was reputation. They were most worried about making the wrong bets, and there's very little forgiveness.
Scalability of the projects is, I think, a super key term, because if it comes to small-scale, very initial testing technologies, it's an equity risk. It has to be borne by equity. That can be DFIs, that can be state, that can be subsidy, but it's very difficult to get those projects bankable.
We exporting companies, we have difficulty to choose the right horse. In many situations, we need pilots. We need companies to start. Let's take a small steps, but let's start. Otherwise, we are not going to get any development.
I've been participating from 2010, and I always find the overall experiences very, very positive, and the panels are extremely interesting.
All the possible stakeholders in the value chain are here. So one could argue that we meeting during one day more people than we could do in a half of a year.
If you're thinking about going to this event next year, please do. This is a great crowd and everyone is basically here from the industry.